Whenever you're ready, Dr. Crowe.
It is now 7:00. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the German Township Trustees to order.
Can you turn this bank of lights on too? Can you turn this light switch on? There you go.
Can we all raise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Easton, could we have the roll call?
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Cross here. Mr. Stubbs here. Mr. Potter.
Here.
All are present.
Okay, we're going to do things a little different tonight. First, we're going to have recognize Fred Glander for his contributions to German Township, but he is not here. So we're going to postpone that, hopefully. Next, I would like to introduce Resolution 2024-29, a resolution approving to offer the position of part-time Step 3 officer, Stephen Getter, for the 2024 budget as he has successfully passed all the German Township Police Department required testing.
Second.
Any discussion of the resolution?
Chief, say.
I'm very anxious to have him here. He's got a lot of experience and, like I said, I'm really excited to have him part of our team. It'll be great, a great fit with German Township.
Anything else?
Any other discussion? I'll call the roll. Dr. Cross,
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs,
Yes.
Mr. Potter,
Yes.
all, resolution 2024-29 is adopted. Congratulations.
Congratulations, officer. I'd like to go ahead and have a ceremonial swearing in right now while you're here. So
So come on,
Do that.
come on up here. I've got the cheat sheet over
Okay,
here.
where you want me?
I guess, do we need to be in front of the camera?
In front of the camera.
We need to be in front of the camera. Congratulations.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
All right.
You don't get behind. You're kind of cut off.
I mean, that's okay. It's okay.
I think we can move the camera.
Just do it on your knees. That I've always been told I had a face for radio, so if it stays.
Thank you, Mark.
But, all right, so I'll just repeat after me, so raise your right hand. I state your name,
I, Stephen Getter,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties of police officer
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of police officer
of German Township in Montgomery County, State of Ohio,
of German Township, Montgomery County, State of Ohio,
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance in office.
By acknowledging my oath of office,
By acknowledging my oath of office,
I am subscribing to the German Township Police Department's mission
I am subscribing to the German Township Police Department's mission
to proudly serve the community with integrity,
to proudly serve the community with integrity,
dedication, and honor,
dedication, and honor,
by a continued commitment to excellence
by continued commitment to excellence
in all aspects of police service
and all aspects of police service
through innovation,
through innovation,
community policing,
community policing,
increased training,
increased
and
training,
education.
and education.
And at all times,
And at all times,
I will strive to demonstrate by example
I will strive to demonstrate by example
my commitment to honesty,
my commitment to honesty,
fairness,
fairness,
compassion,
compassion,
morality,
morality,
and professionalism.
and professionalism.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Way to have-
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Awesome, sir. Thank you. Take a picture. And that's it. Awesome.
Can I get a picture of you too?
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sure, Jones.
Now we're gonna.
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank
You can just leave it, you know.
you. Shoot over the top.
All right.
But you got that nice new haircut, so it would be a real shame.
It is a long.
Okay, next we're going to discuss the fire EMS. I believe it's maybe going to be coming up. So let me just read off of Mr. Easton's fiscal officer report. Mr. Easton and I attended a meeting with City Manager Julie Gilliland
Deputy Finance Director Randy Stiver, Fire Chief Dan Aldred. Were you here also?
Not the last
No.
one.
Councilmember Mike Kuhn and Fire Department Administrative Assistant Ronnie Saul. The purpose of the meeting was to review the auditor's certification of the amounts that will be generated by 3 potential fire EMS levy options. 1, an additional 4.0 mil levy, 2, a replacement 5.0 mil levy, and 3, a replacement 2.0 levy. Committee recommended to the Fire EMS Oversight Committee that they approve, recommending to the Township Trustees an additional 4.0 mil levy to be placed on the November ballot. My understanding is that the Oversight Committee has not yet met, so formal action by us is not appropriate this time. And supposedly the Fire Oversight meeting is going to be next week. So once they make their recommendation, then the German Township. So basically, if you guys, I'll just have you come up one at a time and make a presentation or whatever you want to do.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
Dan was going to be, just the
Spokesperson. Okay.
Too much time.
Introduce yourself as well as.
Yep. Dan Aldred, Germantown Fire Chief, 75 North Walnut Street. So I have with me tonight Lieutenant Four and also Deputy Finance Director Randy Stiver, and we're here tonight. I know we can't take formal action, but to ask for your support in placing a levy on the November ballot that will provide adequate, much needed funding for fire EMS. We're operating on 2 levies now, both 2 mills when they were approved. One in 2002, which is 22 years old. One in 2010, which is 14 years old. They have a combined effective millage rate right now of 2.2 mils. We've done well with the funding provided. However, with increased costs, the need has arisen to secure funding to meet the needs of the future. Apparatus costs are way up. Fuel costs are up. Manpower costs just since 2001 have gone up 23%. We looked into surrounding departments as to what the millage is that residents in other communities are paying. So for Farmersville, I spoke with Chief Harrisman. Their residents pay 7.5 mils. In New Lebanon, inside the village, they pay 5. But there's also, their village is split into both Jackson and Perry Township, where they pay, from what I understand, an additional 5. Camden pays 7.5 mils. Eaton actually works on an income tax of 0.5%, so they're kind of out of our league. But our neighbor just to the east of us, Miami Township, just passed in 2022 an 11 mil fire levy. So with us operating on 4 mils, which is actually 2.2 mils effective right now, we're much needed in new funding. If I could get Lieutenant Four to come up, I want him to, he's done a lot of research on this, and he did a lot of work on what costs were in 2010 when our last levy was passed and what costs are for us today. So like I have Josh in front of me.
Name and address.
Lieutenant Josh Four, 75 North Walnut Street, Germantown Fire EMS. So our last, as Chief said, our last levy was in 2010. Purchased a new ambulance in 2010. The cost was $145,000. Each of our ambulances are equipped with a power cot and power load system. The cost in 2010 was $45,000. To get the same outfit today, new ambulance and a power load system, which is now $70,000. New ambulance would cost us around $350,000. We're looking at $420,000. So an increase of $230,000 since our last levy. In 2010, to buy the exact same fire truck we just bought in 2022, it cost us $350,000. We bought that one for around $600,000. Today, bare bone fire truck, $800,000 to $1 million. Our ladder truck, to replace that, it's 24 years old, $1.5 million to $2 million. Another truck, our utility truck, same truck that Chief bought 4 years ago for $25,000. Today it's $42,000. So everything's going up. So Another big one for us is our SCBA's. It's what we wear when we go into house fires. Ours are around 20-ish years old. To replace those today, $320,000 to replace all. So everything's.
Cool, thank you. Very good. So just manpower costs alone, we did, look at the numbers there as well. Like I said, it's gone up about 23%. So in 2021, a firefighter EMT was being paid $12.69. Just here, beginning of January 2024, a firefighter EMT makes $16.81, and we're still behind a lot of the communities that are local. Our highest paid people, firefighter, EMT, paramedics, make $18.91. In March of this year, our neighbor to the south, Madison Township, put out a flyer. $18 an hour for an EMT basic, $20 an hour for an advanced, $22 an hour for paramedic. We've had people leave us before for 25 cents an hour. We're looking at almost a $3 shortfall in what one of our closest neighbors is paying. They have the same run volume, pretty much operate the same way we are. So it's difficult to retain quality people when your pay is less than adequate. So I'm not a money man, but I know it only goes so far. That's why we brought the money man with us. If we could have our finance director, Randy, step up and express the need on what the 4 mil levy will provide and how long it will provide for. Thank you.
My name is Randy Stiver, live at 80 Candlewood Court, and I do have a handout if, please everyone. I didn't bring one for everybody, but certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, like Dan said, Pat Shively had put together projections as far as what the cost would look like and what the fund balances would look like with our current projections, like Dan said, with the current millage that's in place. And we'd actually started looking at this back in the fall of 2023, trying to consider whether or not we wanted to go on the March ballot. However, at that time, the county auditor had put out a lot of information that we were looking at significant increases in property value. So we knew that if we tried to pass, if you guys requested certifications during 2023, it would be on those values. So the decision was made to wait until first of the year to get the new values. Values did go up about 32.5% in our area in the township, German Township. And so we were able to actually put some numbers together, and that's when we started looking at different scenarios. What we would need to get us out 5, 6, 7 years. We considered a number of them, and as Mark said, you guys requested 3 different certifications. Those numbers came back pretty much what we had projected since we knew what the new values were. And I think all of us felt like if we try to go with something less than 4%, it really doesn't fix the problem. It just puts a Band-Aid on it. And I think we all felt that by asking for the 4%, the 4 mil, sorry, not 4%, 4 mil, that would give us some breathing room for several years. And as Dan and Josh alluded to, the costs just continue to go up. You all know that. I mean, go to the grocery store, go buy a car, go your insurance, everything is going up. Well, it's no different in our fire department. So I think we all felt like if we go with the 4 mil, it's something that I think Dan is a person that the community will trust. Dan can tell a great story. I've been through many levies in my 30 years as a school treasurer. And there's 2 things you need to convince the voters of: the need, and that they trust that you're being taking good fiduciary responsibility of the money. And I think Dan, as he alluded to, we haven't had any new levies since 2010, I believe. And one of them was 2002. So I think certainly that demonstrates that Dan and his group and all the people at the city have taken that responsibility seriously. And but there comes a time when the money's the costs exceed what your revenues are, and I think we're to that point. And so I think I would like to see you approve the 4 mil. I know you'll do that tonight, but I certainly, if you have any other questions, you can see the spreadsheet there, what it will look like. I tried to keep things simple. Spreadsheets can get a little bit confusing sometimes, but if you just look at the bottom line, it kind of shows you the balances by plugging in that 4 mil levy. And you can see that by 2030, we're still in really good shape. I didn't extend it further than that. I can do that if you need that before your next meeting, but we usually just try to go 5, 6, 7 years when we're doing these projections. So you can see that the 4 mil will get us both fire and EMS. Will keep us very strong and solvent for several years to come, and still allow them to compete with other surrounding communities with personnel as well as equipment. So I appreciate your time tonight, and if you have any questions with me, I'll be happy to answer them.
So these are the figures I got from our last meeting. The 4 mills would produce 1.184 million. Is that what you got?
Well, let me look at the my paper real quick. Yes, 1.184 million per year.
And the two, basically for a $200,000 value house, the old two plus 2 mills would be about $140. And the 4 mil additional would be $280. So in total, it would be about $450 per year for a $200,000 house. What would it come out?
The increase, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, for the 4 mil increase. Say that again, Mark.
Yeah. So the total for a $200,000 value, the 280 plus 140 for the 2.2 mils comes out to 450.
Correct.
Is that what you got?
That's what we discussed at the last meeting.
Right.
That's total for existing and.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
that would be, if the 4 mil passed,
Right.
there would be an increase of $280
Correct.
for $200,000 home.
Correct.
Which of course is only taxed at 35% of that.
Right. Now, there are those, of course, that are over 65 in income, puts them in a position where they can claim the homestead also. It reduces that by about 10%. And then if you occupy your home, you also get about a 2% decrease in your taxes as well. So doesn't sound like a lot, but for a retired person who has both, they can get about a 12% credit on that. So it does lower that somewhat for those people.
So I brought this up at the last meeting. I think the big thing is selling this, because it's a big increase. As we talked about before, I think that the school levy issue is being very difficult to pass a whole lot of it.
I agree.
Yeah.
But when we compare with the other departments nearby, we're lacking. I think we've done very well. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying.
I think timing more than anything is going to be the issue here, because the school with the significant increase, and I think that's why at the last meeting, we added in the 2 mil as something that at least I felt has a chance of passing out. I think when you ask for these higher numbers, it's going to be a tough sell. So,
With the money.
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, we just ran the 1 mil at the cemetery, and what was it, 40 some votes was the difference between for 1 mil. And we struggled, and I thought we did a pretty decent job getting.
Replacement, not additional.
Right. And we worked to get the information out we needed to, and then 47 votes. So it's gonna be a tough sell.
I totally agree, but I hope that people understand that they need not just police, but they need fire and EMS. And if we place that 3.5 mil on the ballot, we're short in 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah.
So.
This is also a continuous.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And basically, because the need never goes away.
Right.
Just Farmersville just changed. They were doing the every 5-year thing, and the new chief up there realized the need that this never goes away. So every 5 years, they're not passing a new levy. They just passed a replacement. I'd like to make one. Are you done, Randy?
Yes,
sorry.
I'm done. No.
If I can, I'd like to make one more comment or add one more thing in. Right now, we are minimally staffed. So we run 1,100 calls a year with 3 people in-house. I'm there as a 4th, and then I also respond from home nights, weekends, whatever, to pick up the 4th. So if we have 2 medic calls, requires 2 EMTs and an ambulance. So I've been the 4th. I'm going to be retiring in a couple of years to 2026. So we're looking at adding a fourth person because there's a good chance that the new fire chief won't maybe live in town, won't be available to be that fourth person. And really, with as much as we've been hitting or getting hit for second calls 3, 4, 5 times a week now, really the necessity for adding a fourth person during the day, 24 hours, is something that's very needed. Just adding another firefighter, paramedic, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, $165,000 just to add that. So.
I don't think there's anything that, I think the need is obviously there. You guys have brought that forward practically.
I know it's going to be a hard sell. I'm just hoping we can put it out there in a positive way and people recognize the need and they support us.
Well, yeah, I mean, people expect the ambulance to be there right away.
Yep. But I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate everybody's time.
I just need to get that information out.
Out and about to the public. Absolutely.
Yes. That's going to make the difference.
Yes, sir. I appreciate
All the comparisons.
Yep, I'm more than willing to go to meetings, Lions Club meeting. In 2002, I went to multiple different meetings and made the pitch as a young lieutenant to get levies passed. So I'm very familiar with that, and I'll be more than happy to attend whatever meeting to pass the information along. We'll go to the senior center and make them aware and try and put the information into the people's hands so they can see it and realize the need. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys coming out.
Mhm.
Any other questions by anybody? Or? Okay, you can stick around. You're welcome, but you don't have to.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Are there any other visitor comments? Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the fiscal officer's report.
Good evening again, everyone.
Let's start out as we do every time with the minutes. I've given you the minutes of the April 8th regular meeting. I have not yet completed the minutes from last week's special meeting on May 8th, so I'll include that in my June report.
Are there any corrections or changes to the April 8th minutes?
Those allow minutes, so thanks again for that. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the 4/8/24 regular meeting minutes. As presented.
Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
I've also given you the normal
Financial reports, you have the April 30th fund status,
the April 30th cash summary by fund, that's the year-to-date
cash summary by fund, and also I've given you the month of April cash summary.
by fund, the April receipt listing, and the April payment listing.
And I just have a couple of items I want to note to you. First of all, receipt number 91 for $663,154.27, less the normal collection fees of $25,247.22.
From the Montgomery County Auditor, it's the final settlement for the first half real estate taxes. So that's everything from the county. And then on May 6th, we received the state's
First half homestead and rollback tax payment. Now, that's not in your report tonight. That'll be in next month's report. But having received that, the final payment for anything related to the February taxes, on May 10th, I then paid the city of Germantown their share of the first half road levy collections, and then 90% of the collections of the other 5 joint levies, less any related expenses. And then warrant number 5766 for $30,000 to Channel Maintenance Systems is the township's 50% share of the original contract on the Twin Creek erosion project. And this was paid using the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds. Any questions on the financials? Now, could I have a motion to approve them and authorize the payment of bills?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the April financial reports and authorize the payment of April bills. Warrants 50761 through 50767 and vouchers 242 through 372 for payroll, direct deposit, tax withholdings, and other electronic payments.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Every year at the May meeting, the trustees pass a resolution declaring May 15th as National Peace Officer Memorial Day. And the week that includes May 15th is known as Police Week, which honors and celebrates all officers who put others before self. I have given you the resolution for this particular year, and we'll make that number 30, 2024-30.
I would like to introduce resolution 2024-30, a resolution to recognize and show appreciation to all present and former German Township police officers and employees for their contributions and dedication to the betterment of the German Township community. Whereas the Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as Police Week, and whereas the members of the German Township Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of citizens of the unincorporated portions of German Township, and whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and the members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. Now, therefore, the German Township Board of Trustees, Montgomery County, hereby resolves, Section 1, that the German Township Board of Trustees will commemorate the sacrifice of America's peace officers by recognizing May 15th in German Township, Montgomery County, Ohio, as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in accordance with Resolution 96-24, and fly the township flag at half-staff in their honor on that day. Section 2, that the German Township Board of Trustees thank and recognize the hard work and commitment of the employees of the German Township Police Department and their continued efforts to serve this community with integrity, dedication, and honor.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, sorry.
Thanks again, Chief.
It's our pleasure.
Okay, I will call the roll. Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution 2024-30 is adopted. A week or so ago, Ms. Close sent you a contract renewal letter from Air Force One.
With two options to renew our HVAC contract.
You can either renew for 1 year or 3 years. And when we do that renewal, let's make it a resolution, which would be number 31.
So I suppose we can discuss it.
Whether you like 1 or 3 years before you actually make the resolution.
So what are we paying this year? The 23.
I don't know.
What did we pay them?
I'd have to look it up. I'll see if I can do that. If my computer cooperates.
I think it was 1,500 if I remember correctly, or maybe it was 1,600.
Let's see if I can pull it up.
That's fine.
Everything's running real slow tonight, the Wi-Fi.
So basically, it seems like that if we go with a 3-year option, we may be insulating ourselves from some of the big increases. Increase from 24 to 25 to 25 to 26 is all $52.
Right, yeah.
For the next 2 years, it's an increase of $34, which is certainly seems to be a
Still
No,
punching. I can't.
And I'm guessing costs are not going down anytime soon, so.
Just is Jeremy and John, I mean, everybody happy with it, with the service?
I don't use them. I mean, it's only on the township building and
We did have
But you're
that-
here, I guess.
We did have that whole issue.
That roof issue.
yeah, but they made it
They
right.
did, they made it right.
So
Any
they seem to
opinion?
show up regularly and do the maintenance and
You don't have no opinion one way or the other.
they do as good a job as anybody else that we've ever had.
Yeah, and when we,
Say exceptional, I don't know. I mean,
OR system.
That's right. I just make it, if there's anything that popped out or something.
and like I said, they did have the ordeal where they poked the holes in the roof, but they did make it right. They did, I don't think they. It's not like we had to defend ourselves, try to prove to them this happens. Show them the pictures, told them what happened. Okay, tell us how much it's gonna
I
cost.
think a lot of that was that it worked out, that we had just been up
Right.
there, you had just been up there. I don't have any issue then.
So I'd like to go ahead and introduce resolution 2024-31, a resolution to pick up the 3-year option with Air Force One, the contract service on the HVAC system.
Second.
Can we, I don't mean to interrupt, but before we pass that, can we check into that? I mean, is there any way we can put into the resolution? For some reason, I thought I got an email some time ago that Air Force One was on the state bid,
Oh,
on the state bid. So is there any way we can word the resolution as long as these figures are below what these,
Equal to. or-
State of Ohio Office of Procurement's charges on it, I guess. I'm trying to find a way of wording that. Give me some time to look for it. I'm gonna have to look for it because I'm not sure I even kept it. But I was thinking that I saw somewhere. I'd probably have to call the Office of Procurement for the state. Ask them.
Do we need to pass this tonight or can we wait for a month?
the contract is out on June 1st.
Pass it.
I think probably what you can do is you could modify the resolution.
Give
Mr. Holbrook and Ms. Close the ability to sign a 3-year contract
no,
or go with a state bid.
the one interesting thing in here is the agreement price is subject to adjust on each commencement anniversary to reflect the increase in labor, materials and other costs. So are they
That too.
stick to that? Or are they gonna?
That was my question. If you have a contract, it's not on, I mean, it's, a contract is a contract, so they can't just come back and say, oh, wait, that went up and now your contract is this much.
But once we sign this, the 3-year option, this will be what we pay for the next 3 years, these amounts.
Unless,
The agreement price is subject to adjustment on each commencement anniversary.
And that's what you're seeing.
but they're saying they can adjust it again, I think. The
If labor
agreement
and
price,
materials goes up.
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's not a contract.
Oh.
That's not a contract.
That was my question.
because it says the price is subject to adjustment.
I think that probably needs a little bit of clarification as well.
Yes. Either they live with these 3 numbers or
And then, so I don't think it's necessarily important to pass tonight. So there'll be a lapse of 2 weeks.
Well,
But they're still doing our-
Jeremy. What's that?
That's,
um,
I mean, they only,
probably won't need them.
they only come out quarterly anyway.
so we're not
So if
missing.
we-
Yeah, but
if-
they could technically say, oh, well, you missed the time frame. That bid was only good till the 1st of June. Now,
Now we'll find somebody else.
next, well, yeah. you
That was
could
kind
do
of my
that.
thought.
If you wanna-
Meeting's on the 10th, so.
If you want to give Shauna and I, or one or the other, it doesn't matter to me, the ability to sign on behalf of the board, then we can research, hey, what did you mean by this?
Yeah.
First off, and second off, we know
we think that you also have a contract with the state of Ohio providing the same services. You know, how does this cost compare to that?
Right,
Because we want the cheaper one.
absolutely.
So
Just was able to pull it up. We are currently paying them $1,600 a year.
So when I'm $96, that's not much.
So how do we want to modify the resolution?
What would you like to modify it to? Do you want it to give them authority
Right,
to,
exactly.
to go forward with a contract that they research and
At this price or below.
we can research it and then, you know, individually send out emails to the board.
we can't have a vote?
Either.
Why don't we, if you're comfortable with it, give them the authority, as we often do.
Them the authority to make decisions.
We're not gonna spend more money. Just to get the list
No,
price.
Jeremy's like the king of finding the best deal.
He absolutely is.
So why don't we just,
Redo the whole resolution and give them the authority to execute a contract that,
We're still choosing the 3-year option.
if possible,
yeah, just
give them that instruction.
just clarify the,
I would have to get back with them tomorrow.
yeah, and then, if it's state bid, it may be year to year.
Sorry?
We may only be able to do the one
Yeah,
year if
right.
it's state bid.
But if it's significantly less.
Yeah, then we need to do that.
Right.
Again, if you give them
Yep.
the ability to go figure this out and make that decision and report back next month what they did, they can execute the contract before the end of May. So are you comfortable? First of all, Lou, you seconded. You comfortable with that? Dr. Cross? Okay, so we're going to give them authority. Okay.
So this-
Okay. Ready to vote?
Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Resolution 2024-31 is
Thinking about
adopted.
that.
On April the 11th, I submitted our annual report to the Department of Treasury detailing our spending on the ARPA plan funds between April of 2023 and March of 2024. And I did attach that report for you to look at in what I sent you before tonight's meeting. I handled that one. Concerning the audit, on-site work by the Auditor of State's office on our agreed upon procedures for 2022 and 2023 began back on April 24th and continued for several days. I have not yet received the auditor's draft report. I was told by our representative that it will probably be delayed due to a heavy workload in their office. And I want to express my appreciation to both Mr. Holbrook and Ms. Close for the help they provided to the auditor. Particularly Ms. Close spent a significant amount of time with the representative, pulling documents, answering questions for both zoning and trash. I would never expected that's where the time of this audit would be spent.
Yeah, me neither. That being said, she was lovely to work with.
It was very
Easy
easy.
to make it as easy as possible. As easy as it could be, I guess.
Even Mr. Keener had a chance to meet her.
Well, no, not to meet her, but see her again.
Reacquaint yourself.
I've dealt with her before. She is an awesome person. Account.
Well, fortunately for me, she knew how difficult eye work can be.
Yeah.
To get reports out of. So yeah, she was wonderful.
Okay, moving on. I spoke with the Montgomery County Township Association President, Chris Snyder, who happens to be the Miami Township Administrator, about us hosting the June 27th meeting here at the township. And we're a go for that. The meeting's going to start at 6 p.m. We're going to precede that time with a half hour or so ahead of time, social time with food. And the Germantown Lions has agreed to provide hamburgers, hot dogs, and so forth for that social time. So I think everything is moving forward. Dr. Cross, at some point between now and then, I want to hook you up with Chris Snyder and you talk about how they'll structure the meeting and what your role may be, if any, because it's been a while since they've had those meetings remotely at township locations. So they're kind of going to reinvent the wheel. Also, back on April 17th, I hand delivered a large number of documents to a law office in Dayton in response to a public records request. And I thank all three of you trustees for your help in gathering the information that was needed for that response. I want to offer my condolences to Ms. Close on the recent passing of her grandfather in upstate New York. And I will say, may his memory be a blessing to all who knew and loved him. I know you were very close. No pun intended. Very close. Yeah. And finally, as a member of the Germantown Lions, I want to invite everyone to the Lions-sponsored Memorial Day program at Veterans Park, which is followed by a pilgrimage to Germantown Union Cemetery. It's a great program. Hopefully the weather is good. Starts at 10 o'clock. Please come out. David Short does a fantastic job talking about veterans who live in the local area. So you're all invited to come. And with that, I'm done. Thank you.
Police Department report, chief.
Sir, monthly stats for last month, officer drove 5,130 miles, answered 81 dispatches, closed 78 cases, on 2 case follow-ups, made 1 arrest, did 342 business checks, 23 vacant house checks, and 888 occupied house checks. Responded to 7 crashes, made 35 traffic stops, and wrote 14 citations. Just to address this, the first item I have under equipment and information. A couple months ago in a trustee meeting, a citizen came to the meeting and requested some help with what he brought as a Knox box, is what they're called. It basically allows the fire department access to their house for ailing citizens. I had asked for some help from the trustees. We talked about the Moore grant, and I learned today that I think we have $500 left in the Moore grant. The rest of it was used.
And we haven't received that money for this purpose.
We initially requested 5 Knox boxes. $500 would pay for 2. If we could at least get a start with 2 using that $500.
We discussed it. I think you weren't here, but we're willing to get the 5. The board is. So whatever we need to do to start the process, I believe is what we discussed, right? To get the 5 boxes. I think that's a meeting you weren't able to be here.
Basically, Germantown has provided this information to citizens in the past, Germantown Fire Department. Yeah. And they would allow citizens to purchase them through them. But what we would do is provide them with the money and they would buy them and they would keep them because they would have the one key that would open all of them. Yeah. So it would be giving them that money. Yep. They've already ordered 5 for Germantown. So we jump in there and get ours.
So they're going to kind of promote this to let people know that it's available.
We'll put it on our Facebook page and together we'll promote it to people.
How much demand do you think is going to incur?
I know we've got 3 citizens now that would be interested in it. One, we have a key to one of the residents' houses. I don't like that, but we did it.
So there is some need in German Township to
yes.
actually use them versus sitting.
I know of 3. So.
That's a resolution and purchase.
Why don't we? Let's do a resolution. We'll make that 32.
I'd like to introduce resolution 24, 2024-32 to purchase 3 more box boxes.
We'll purchase 5
Oh,
because we haven't purchased any yet. All we've done is we received the grant money that will basically cover 2 or 3 of them. Two of them.
So purchase 5 Knox boxes for use in the township.
Second. Any discussion? Now I'll call the roll. Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2024-31 is adopted.
I'd like to request a motion to collect bids for a new police cruiser, which was previously budgeted for 2024. Like Fire Chief was saying, cruisers, fire apparatus, everything's going up so much. We're gonna put bids out there for state bids to see what comes back, but from what I understand, cruisers, just 2 years ago, we bought one for 30,000. Now they're around 43 to 47,000. We budgeted 65 for the cruiser and the upfit. But we'll have to see what the bids come in. We want to stick with Ford, but from my understanding, you can get Dodge product for about 5,000 less than a Ford product. So we're gonna put the bids out there and see what comes, if you guys approve it.
I think the Fords are difficult to change the oil in, aren't they? So it may not be a terrible thing if we got away from them.
Unfortunately, the Fords run better.
They do, okay.
I have a Chrysler product, but from what I understand, asking around,
Okay.
the Fords are in the shop less.
Okay.
But we see our issues with the Fords
Yeah.
too. I mean, it's just, I think it depends on the day of the week that it's built. You know, I don't know.
Since we're not spending money, I think all you need is a motion. So have him go forward.
I'll make a motion to have Chief Birch go out and solicit bids for a new police vehicle.
Second.
Any discussion?
We've got one cruiser that's over 100,000 now. That's our K9 cruiser. Looking at replacing the K9 cruiser because Edis is imprinted on marijuana. We're probably gonna have to retire him because prosecutor's office is not taking heroin cases like that if the dog's imprinted on marijuana as well. So that's what we're looking at.
Is that just Montgomery County or is that
That's,
statewide?
that's Montgomery County.
That's what I figured. Yep. That's a shame.
So
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
German Township Shred Day and medication drop off was this past Saturday, May 4th from 9 to 11. Here at the Township Building, we shredded 5,280 pounds of paper and collected 15.5 pounds of unwanted prescription drugs. Prescription drugs will be turned over to the DEA sometime within the next year. Meantime, they're locked up in our evidence room.
Is that more than last year? Seemed like that was more than last year.
I can't
About the
remember
same, I
what we had last year.
About the same.
Seems like it might have been a little more. I'm trying to remember how many buckets we fill every
Yeah,
year.
right.
Yeah, but I think the DEA only does that.
Useful then. Oh.
Spread day was about the same as well.
That calendar.
Let me try to get through this
Oh, no.
relatively quick. Thank you to Trustee Potter for helping Officer Nichols pick up and haul several railroad ties to the range. We appreciate your help with that.
Like I'm halfway here. They're on the truck at my house,
It sounds like it was an eventful day.
was an eventful day.
Yeah.
as usual.
I've got 2 policies that are German Township policies that I need to go over real quick that we would like to request changes on. Like to request trustee approval for changes made to Township Policy 4.0 Work Schedule Section 4.22C, sick leave. verification to 1 hour call off notice. So the old policy read employees are required to notify their assigned supervisor or other designated persons 2 hours prior to their scheduled reporting time on the first day of absence, except for the 0800 to 1600 hour shift, which requires 1 hour prior notice to supervisor. That would be changed to employees are required to notify their assigned supervisor or other designated persons 1 hour prior to their scheduled reporting time. So it just makes it 1 hour. No,
Yeah.
takes out.
I think we could probably do both of these changes as one resolution.
Okay. The second is the tobacco policy 90.5, section 5.14, use of tobacco products to include vape is not allowed on German Township property. So the only change on this in section 5.14 is it is the declared policy of German Township that the use of any tobacco products, and we added and vapes, will be prohibited inside any structure, vehicle, or property under the jurisdiction of German Township Board of Trustees.
So we'll need a resolution that combines the change in section 4.2-2 subsection C, as well as policy number 5.14. And if you'll give me that wording.
Policy 90.5, section 5.14.
I don't see any, where does 90.5 come in?
That's one of the policies.
I don't find that in my personnel manual.
Okay. It might, I'll look at it. It might be 5. I've got 90.5 for some reason, so.
I saw that. I thought maybe that was your police department manual
It could have been out there. Yeah. But this is I think 5.14
is what's in
yeah.
Looking at it here. And then you'll need to give me that language, old and new. So
I'll just give you this. This is,
So we'll make this resolution 2024-33. And I will put the language into the resolution when I put it in the minutes.
I'll introduce resolution 2024-33, a resolution to make text changes to section 4.2-2 subsection C and 90.5, section 5.14 of the personnel manual.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I will call the roll. Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Potter? Yes. Resolution 2024-33 is adopted. Thank you.
that's all I have.
All right, Mr. Glander, we're glad you're here. So I'd like to, the board would like to recognize Fred Glander for his contributions to German Township. Mr. Stubbs, would you please introduce resolution 2024 dash?
It's going to have to be number 34. We'll just ink that out into the original. Make it 34.
All right. Glad you could join us. I got a resolution I'm going to read for you, and then we've got a plaque for you to take home. So I would like to introduce resolution 2024-34, a resolution to recognize and show appreciation to Fred Glander of German Township for his lifetime of service to the German Township community. Whereas Fred Glander has served German Township on the BZA for over 60 years. And whereas Fred Glander has given his time and energy to the betterment of German Township. And whereas Fred Glander has shown great dedication to the German Township community by hosting the children of the Valley View Local School District at his farm, instilling progress, pride, and preservation for future generations. Now, therefore, the German Township Board of Trustees, Montgomery County hereby resolves, Section 1, that the German Township Board of Trustees recognize Fred Glander for his continued commitment to the German Township community, and Section 2, that the German Township Board of Trustees express their sincere appreciation to Fred Glander for his efforts, and Section 3, that German Township Board of Trustees declares today, Monday, May 13th, 2024, to be proclaimed Fred Glander Day in German Township.
I have a second, Dr.
Second.
Cross.
I'll second.
Any discussion of the resolution?
And I think the way, over the years you supported agriculture around here and want to keep it that way. It just, everything. We appreciate all your,
Yeah, greatly appreciated by everyone here. And this is just our little show of appreciation for everything you've done for the last 60+ years, just that we know of, more than that. So
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Fred.
Fred, you want to say anything?
On behalf of the police department, we're so appreciative of you. You're always willing to help us when we've got to round some animals up or whatever we need. You're always there for us, and we really appreciate you, Mr. Blaine.
I'll say that 60 years ago,
You come up front and do your name, address.
Kurt Jacoby, Harris Road, 12955 Harris Road. 60 years ago, probably to the day, we're very close to it. As a first grader, I was on Fred's farm at Centerville area. And I still remember that. I absolutely do.
I haul cattle eating that stuff. That's pretty.
oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Fred, do you want to say anything else or? You want to say anything else?
Come up and talk. You want to come up and talk?
King, Fred.
Been a privilege to be a member of German Township for about a lifetime, other than 2 years in the service. Saw a lot of changes, some good and a few always disagreeable. We've had good leadership with the police department way back when. Germantown Rural Fire Department got started by neighbors. At that time, they'd only go if you were a member.
Probably increase the membership up, did
And now the township and the town are together, which is a good thing. Fine. Thank you, people.
Thank you for.
Thank you.
We're 91 now. But then,
So on the
lived
first.
there where I lived since.
Before we do the presentation, let's vote on the resolution. Dr. Cross,
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs, Mr. Potter,
Yes.
Resolution 2024-34 honoring Fred Glander is adopted by this trustees.
In front of the kid.
come up to the camera.
Just turn it around.
Turn it around. There we go. So I'll give this to you. Thank you for your service to the community. We really appreciate it. Shauna wants a picture, I guess.
Look at me, Fred.
Thank you.
I'd like
Thank you
to
for
say
coming.
something too.
Yes.
I'm going up. No, you're
No.
fine. You're fine.
We'll always wait on you.
Thank you, Fred. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm 75 years old and I've known this guy over 75 years of my life. He's one of the finest men in Germantown.
He is. I agree with that.
They were neighbors.
We were neighbors for a long time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Fred.
Fred.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Right.
I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it.
You know how to make an entrance.
Yeah.
Take.
Oh, yeah.
I think you want to give him the box.
Yes.
Mostly salt.
Hang on, Fred, we're gonna give you the box.
Do you want the box to put it back in?
Jason, on the box, I'll read.
Do you want the box for it?
I think we just do the rest of the meeting like a.
Granddaughter's coming home with a boyfriend. I have to be there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that every time someone speaks.
Yeah.
None of motorized.
Right? Do a little.
We have.
I know.
It was made.
Obstacles.
Yeah.
Okay.
In years. And I.
So I just did.
Look, we go.
Oh, we'll get him a copy of the resolution once it's,
You're gonna frame it, aren't you?
we'll put one in here and we'll send him one if that's okay.
Why don't we,
Why don't I then redo it with the right resolution number?
Yeah.
Pass it on down.
Yeah.
And we'll sign it.
We'll resend. Yep, perfect.
well, and put it in the frame next month, and then you can deliver it to him.
All right,
Thank you, Mark. Keeping us straight.
Jeremy, could we have the road department?
Sure. First item on my agenda is, we'll be opening sealed bids for the 2024 chip seal program in German Township. And I received one bid, and I would like to hand it to Jake to have him open it to verify that it is sealed.
Yeah, it is sealed.
We did advertise for 2 full entire weeks in the Germantown Press for requirements for competitive bidding. Here. For item,
Who's the bid
oh,
for?
I'm sorry. The one and only bid was from Ray Hensley Incorporated out of Springfield, which is who did our program last year. Their pricing for this year is for item 422 HFRS 2P, which is water-based emulsion, is $2.36 per square yard. And for item MC 3000, which is emulsion, it is $2.72 per square yard. I'd like to look at this until later in the meeting to verify that they have all the required attachments, and then we can make a decision on whether we want to award that bid during either new or old business later in the meeting. If that would be all right.
How's that compared to last year?
I was gonna look that up too, because I don't have those numbers right in front of me. Second item is once again, I took the liberty to solicit pricing for liquid propane gas pricing for 2024-2025 heating season. As you know, Earhart has been the provider for the last 3 years. 2021, 2022 was $2.14.9 cents. And for 2022, 23, it was $1.93.9. 23, 24 was $1.64.9. I received following fixed prices for LP gas this year for 24, 25. Earhart was once again, or was at $1.69 a gallon. Apollo was at $1.89.9, and Champion was at $1.60. So with that much of a difference, you're almost talking almost 10 cents a gallon difference. I think I would go to Champion.
Couple questions. How many gallon do you use a year?
We, meaning the township, approximately 5,000.
We own the tank, so we can change easily, right?
Yes. I mean, can we wait another to the next meeting or something? I have checked with a person that I normally use. Last year in July, I got it for $1.49. I talked to them today. They would like to bid on it. Didn't know how much price.
Well, I mean,
They thought it would be cheaper in another month or so.
If you got a price that they're willing to stand behind.
I did not get a price today. Because I did not know that I got a price, but I think they'll beat it in another month or so.
Okay.
It's up to you, whatever you think.
The only thing is, you know, these prices are only good for 7 days. So if you want to wait, that's fine. I can have them rebid. I mean,
I always buy mine in July. It seems to be the cheapest of the year. So, but it's whatever your past experience has been.
no, that's fine. picked a rainy day and did it because I knew it needed to be done. I didn't put there wasn't any thought to when. I knew I usually did it before August. So,
I think you could wait another month, wouldn't hurt nothing.
okay.
Also, on 5,000 gallon, that's considerable.
Depending on how cold it is. That's correct. All right, that's fine. The only other thing I want to report to the board on is the road department completed the first round of roadside ditch mowing. Obviously, we continue to mow and trim the cemetery. It seems like, well, it's been weekly here the last month or so. And we completed the installation of a twin 24-inch squash corrugated metal pipes across Harris Road. We're currently letting them settle in gravel for probably another week or so, and then we'll go in and dig it up and put it in asphalt. But right now, we're just letting it really get compacted so we don't have the asphalt settle. So other than that, that's all I have. Like I said, I'll review these chip seal bids and then hopefully have a recommendation to the board later on this evening.
Thanks, Chair. Zoning Department report.
These are studying out a little bit in zoning. We had 3 permits in April, in-ground pool on EB Road, a garage on Jamaica Road, and the Board of Zoning Appeals approved a lot split on Jamaica Road. It was just a couple that wanted to split off their rental property. They were sick of dealing with renters. The zoning commission's proposed changes to the zoning resolution, section 24 and 38, adding regulations concerning small solar facilities was approved by the Board of Trustees in a special meeting on May 8th. Those regulations will be effective on June 7th. Copies of the revised sections can be found in the zoning section of the German Township website or by contacting me in the zoning office during regular hours or by email. That's really all I've got for my zoning report. Me and Mr. Houston have been talking. I made a mistake with the trash billing. When we agreed on the proposed increases in the trash for the next 3 years, for some reason, I had it in my head that it was 60, 65, and 70, and it should have been 65, 70, 75 for the next 3 years. So for the past, 3 quarters, I've only charged 60 instead of 65. So I guess we need to figure out.
So we'll just, going forward, we'll just change, we're not going back.
Because no, you can't, I mean, that would be, people
No,
have that,
Absolutely.
but,
So,
I take full responsibility. I don't know why I had it in my head that it was supposed to be 60. Maybe because 65 is a humongous jump from the 50, 79 we did charge. We're supposed to go up again, the $5 in October. So I don't know if you guys want to go up now.
Basically $10 in October.
Yeah, or Mr. Heaton suggested that we could always raise it early.
Well, first of all, I should have caught it too. I see those deposits come in, I look at them. It didn't even occur to me until the auditor wanted to see proof of what we were billing. And I went back and I pulled your resolution from last summer. And I was like, oh, we're billing the wrong rate. I think you've got a couple of options. One is the one that I find least attractive is to go to $65 on the next billing and then 70, the billing right after that.
Yeah.
I think one option you could do is just wait and go with 60, one more billing, and then go to 70 in October. Or you could go to 70 at the next billing in July. And for that, we would have to do a resolution.
And try to recoup some of our past.
You would recoup a little.
Recoup a little.
Yeah, I mean, basically you recoup 1 quarter. So you'd for half a year, because you're gonna bill a quarter and you would recoup at 65, and then the extra $5 would be for a prior quarter. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. It is unfortunate, the effect on the fund balance obviously is there, $5. We have about 1,000 accounts, right? So That's $10,000 or 15 now that we're down at this point after 3 quarters.
And I apologize.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. We're not gonna go bankrupt in the trash fund at all. But it isn't what you had first asked for. And so between the two of us, we take the blame.
That's okay. I don't think we should go 65 and 70 in back-to-back months, for sure. So,
But are they gonna complain about going 70 early?
yeah,
But we also charged them
Yeah.
less for the last
But
3
they gonna,
quarters.
they gonna think about that, huh?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. I know.
I'm just bringing up,
I would just hate to increase it and then people are gonna be mad, and then increase it again a quarter later and then people are gonna be mad.
I want to point out something interesting. Again, this all came up through the audit. The auditor wanted proof of the $60 or the $50.79 wasn't approved. And I said, I have no idea when that happened. He was able to find some old audit work papers from, well, in this case, 17 years ago. The $50.79 rate was implemented July 1st of 2007. We did not change trash rates until October 2023. That's 16 years.
Long time.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Where else has something not gone up for 16 years? So anyway, with that in mind, what are you thinking, 70 in July?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. Be angry, let them be angry once.
So let's have a resolution changing the increase from to $70 from October 1st to July 1st. That'd be number 35.
I'll introduce resolution 2024-35, a resolution to increase the trash bill to $70 starting on October.
July 1st.
I'm sorry, July 1st, sorry. July 1st.
like,
Any discussion of the resolution?
It's just, again, when we talked about last time, it's the Rumpke, we're doing nothing but passing on the costs, so.
I just want to clarify something. You're saying to start the new billing effective July 1, but don't you mean bills about July 1 for the quarter?
No. The,
Okay, so
the bills that go out July 1st are for July, August, and September.
Gotcha.
We bill in advance.
Billing.
The other thing that we need to address, Oh, sorry.
Finish this resolution. Any more discussion? Okay, I'll call the roll. Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes,
Mr. Potter?
Yeah.
Resolution 2024-35 is adopted now.
when we discussed the trash increases.
Yeah.
We never discussed dumpsters. So, and I've got the previous 2 bills and I got a breakdown from somebody at Rumpke, and I don't really understand how dumpsters are billed. We have 2 customers, Carl Odell and Ben DeGroat. Right now, so Carl Odell on Conservancy Road has 1 dumpster. It's a 6-yard dumpster. Pays $70.92 every other week. It comes out to $212.76 a quarter. That is what Rumpke charges us.
I think you have a couple more dumpsters.
Those are the only 2 that Rumpke's charging
Yeah,
us
so-
for.
we have one, but they told us we had to go through Rumpke. But it's significantly more than that.
Well, and I don't know, this doesn't have the new billing price, so I don't know what,
It went up 8%.
on both of these bills, it shows exactly what I have.
Those 2 bills are 8% higher.
Okay. So they're charging
So we're gonna get another
$212.76 a quarter.
8% increase in October for the dumpsters. And again, October of 2025, we'll get one more 8% increase.
So that is a 6-yard dumpster for $212.76 a quarter.
Quarter.
Bend to Groat on Trumbull County Line Road property has a dumpster that's only 4 yards, but Rumpke's charging $277.95 a quarter for his. I don't really understand why the 4-yard dumpster is getting charged more. Either way, we are charging both of them $223.50.
On top of the,
No. Rumpke's charging us the $212.76 and the $277.95. We're only charging them $223.50.
We're not even charging what Rumpke bills us.
We are for one of them, but not the other. So with different size dumpsters, I'm not even sure how to do that in our system. I'd have to do special dumpster fees for each one. I don't know how you guys want to do that.
We should definitely be charging what we
Yeah.
pay them.
Plus a little more.
Yeah.
How much
does Rumpke charge again?
For the 6-yard dumpster on Conservancy is $212.76 per quarter.
$212.76, that's Odell's.
Mhm.
We're billing how much?
$223.50.
And how about,
And DeGroat's for a 4-yard dumpster is $277.95. I still just don't understand.
what are we billing him?
$223.50. I mean, I don't know what it's been, but that has not changed, and I've never messed with prices. I don't know how long we've been undercharging one of them. And when we discussed the trash, we never even thought about dumpsters until the Rumpke bills came in.
There's more dumpsters than that out.
yeah, there
Yeah,
are.
but they're not going through us. They're going directly through the road.
Because we called and Rumpke said we had to go through them.
I don't know. It's a pain. I wish
Yeah.
everybody just had to, I wish we just dealt with the trash.
Right.
Because this is a pain, especially when you've got different size dumpsters at different prices. I don't know, do they charge more based on how often you get it emptied?
Ours is once a week and I think it's like 150 a month. And they're adding fuel charges and stuff every time now.
And we are currently billing Odell 5% over what we pay. At the minimum, the Grove should be paying 5% over what we pay for his. But neither one of them got the increase that the residential customers should have gotten. Well, they went up to 60 instead of 65, but they should have gone up by at least 8% in October of last year, which they didn't do. We did not change their rates when everybody else got changed in October, because you only approved rates for residential.
So we need a resolution to have a new rate for,
In my opinion, new rate for the growth. And then a way to increase those rates. One in July, which would be when these would take effect anyway for the growth. But then next October of 25 and October of 26 for the last 2 years. Sorry, July 1st and October 25.
So can we just make a resolution that the dumpsters are 5% more than Rumpke bills us for any dumpster?
But are they going up?
Well, it's whatever they,
Or is it
they're going up 8%.
so whatever they bill us, we're just increasing it by 5% for paperwork and billing.
You could do that too.
That way it's simple, it's just flat, whatever it is, we're just adding 5% to it. So it's simple. It changes.
It doesn't matter
If
if it's more.
It doesn't matter. It's just 5% of whatever it is.
5% more.
Is 5% fair? I would think.
So I will
So
add,
that would mean that,
Odell would not change in July. He would not change until October of 25. We were probably making more over Odell's cost before the price increase
Yeah,
because we now pay 8% more.
yeah.
So we're paying what, 212.76
We are paying Rumpke, yes.
Rumpke per quarter. So we must have been paying 197 before. I don't have that invoice out. Yeah. So we were paying 197 and billing him 223.50. Which meant we were actually then, he was paying 13.5% more than we were paying. Rumpke's price went up, ours didn't, so now he's at 5%.
So I won't add 5% to Odell until October of 2020. Correct.
I think what he's saying is that maybe more than 5%, we used to mark it up at 13.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Is 5% enough?
I wouldn't, 14 or 78.65. I would think 5% is not enough, because if you've got roughly a $200 bill, 5% is $10. So Shauna is going to have to review the Rumpke bill every quarter. It's coming in. Go in, I work, and make sure, whatever the bill is every quarter, send them out. So she's got time involved in doing that. It may take her half hour, 45 minutes a quarter, at whatever her hourly rate is. $10 is not going to cover that. So, I mean, I would look at a 15%.
Give me the price we're paying Rumpke for residential off of that invoice
For residential?
per unit. And you'll have to add together the,
I'm gonna give you these back, these. I don't know how to read these.
bring it over to me then. Thank you.
Going pretty wrong.
We're paying 1909 per month. Sorry, holding you up. Okay, yeah, we're paying 1909 a month. So for the quarter, we're paying 57.27. We should be billing 65. Which would give us a 13.5%. So I would think you would want to be consistent between residential and your commercial billings.
So it's 13.5.
Makes them at 13% over what we pay Rumpke. So DeGroote's going to get a pretty hefty increase. Odell will just get a smaller one on the next billing in July.
So is that resolution 36?
That would be 36.
Both of them I start in July with 13%.
Oh, we've already billed. Yeah, our next bill is in July.
I'm just double checking. I don't want to screw up anything.
So I'd like to introduce resolution 2024-36, a resolution to put a 13% increase over what Rumpke bills us on all commercial dumpsters in German Township.
Did you say 13 or 13.5?
13, you want 13.5? 13.5%.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the roll. Dr. Cross,
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs.
Yes.
Mr. Potter.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Resolution 2024-36 is adopted.
You may want to contact Mr. DeGroat,
And tell him what's coming down the pipe.
that he's been paying less than cost.
Clearly doesn't.
Is it?
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Trustee reports, Mr. Potter?
Yeah, don't have too much. Attended the pool meeting. Everything's going good. Don't seem to be any issues. Just waiting on summer to hit. The park, on the park board, we are still waiting for the roof to be put on at the depot. It's under insurance, so it's just $1,000 deductible. I continue to stop down at the erosion control at the Kircher Park. It seems to be working well as it was intended. The little twin erosion, Ron Wine is on vacation. He had talked to Ashley with the emergency funding money grant. I followed up with her and earlier in the week, she told me that the grant money for the emergency funding has been stopped as of now. I talked to her about what was going on. She said that I would be a good candidate for the issue 2 money. And when Ron got back to town, that we could talk to her and she would help us getting in contact with the issue 2 money. So that's kind of put on hold. I did briefly look for some other contractors as was requested. The only ones that I found was the River Rangers that was in the past bid, was the bid of the channel maintenance. I think that the time spent looking for grants will be better served to try to get that paid. MMI is going good. Just working on the 3rd phase, the memorials and the columns for what the plaques will be put on, and working toward putting the trail on the north half of the park. Blake, got his last name, but he is on the park board. He resigned from the park board, but they have a couple new applicants that applied. And Mark Easton, he come down to the park board and talking about the 250th anniversary, had some ideals, and the park board are discussing that and going to try to do something with that. We appreciate what he did. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Stubbs?
Yeah, just a few things tonight. First of all, at the cemetery, Valley View will be hosting Focus on Your Future Day this coming Friday. So there will be student volunteers at the cemetery doing various jobs throughout the day. So hopefully we'll have good weather. Last time they tried this, it was canceled due to rain. So
That Friday, you said?
Friday, yes.
Supposed to rain.
Of course it is. So looking forward to having the kids down there and hopefully gain an appreciation for the cemetery and its meaning to our community. I've got a Kubota update. The Kubota RTV that we ordered has come in. Not all the attachments are with it. They're going to come back and get it and hook the salt spreader and the snow plow up later, as they're not in, and Keith wanted to use it and get started prior to Memorial Day. So since we're not gonna be spreading salt anytime soon, that wasn't a problem. So they dropped it off. I got a chance to take a look at it tonight. It looks really nice, and it's already made a impact on Keith and crew's ability to get around the cemetery and be more efficient with their jobs that they're doing. So this is hopefully a 15-20 year purchase that will keep us going. I know the first question I asked Keith was, how's it doing on the hills? Because it's a lot of hills. And he said it did better than expected. So I think we made the right purchase there. And I think it's going to, the money we spent will be saved in time very quickly from them to get through their daily work, as well as save hours on the backhoe, which is going up and going to be expensive to replace. The grass keeps growing like crazy, as Jeremy talked about earlier. Keith and crew are doing a fantastic job. It looks good. It's hard to keep up with it being warm and rainy here so far this spring. We are registered with Star Ohio now, so I look for Mr. Rohrbach to be transferring money in there within the next month. No news from Representative Antani's office on whether our submitted projects were submitted or declined or whatever. So I guess we'll wait another month and see. And then question I have, the cemetery received a letter from a gas supplier. The question that they asked me, and I don't know the answer to, is since aggregation for gas passed, who is the gas supplier for the aggregation? Do we know that? They have not selected
Because they
one.
didn't have anybody put any bids in it.
Okay.
There's not enough.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So there was no, okay. We had got a letter from somebody wanting to be the supplier, but we held off to make sure there wasn't an aggregate, right? So
Remember, Trayville told us the time to select an aggregation gas supplier would be in the summer.
That's what I'm,
yeah, so it should be, okay. So I will let Keith know on that. Just a fun other fact, I haven't had a swamp update in a while for the Metro Park, but Five Rivers Metro Park had in a recent Dayton Daily News that they're discussing a potential new levy for the fall. I would just like to add that would be incredibly detrimental to German Township. They tax us more than we get out of anything. They buy up our land, increasing the taxes for everyone else around here. So my hope would be that any Metro Park levy placed on the ballot would fail. And I would, at some point, maybe we can do a resolution to send them and tell them that as well, if you guys are on board, because they continue to buy land out of our tax base, increasing the property taxes for the residents that remain here. And it is out of control and needs to stop. Just like to thank Shauna for her hard work. I know it's been a busy couple of months in zoning, so appreciate you and police and zoning and everything you do. And then lastly, Memorial Day at the cemetery. If you're available, join us at the Veterans Park and then walk on down to the cemetery for a celebration. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Stubbs. So I attended the Senior Center Oversight Committee meeting on 4/11. Highlights where the Senior Center had to close on January 25th due to a gas leak at the meter. Line in the alley had to be repaired. New rental policy is in place. New security cameras were installed on February 29th. There are 4 cameras outside and 2 inside. The hallway and meeting room are working and they're all working great. I attended the Germantown Council meeting on May 6, 2024. Highlights were quite a bit of discussion about vacating the alley behind the Florentine happened. Council recommended vacating the alley to especially add outside dining for the Florentine. Correct, Mark?
Yes. There was a lot of discussion, wasn't there?
Somebody spent a lot of time talking about it.
You would know. Okay, a resolution was passed between ODOT and the city manager to enter into agreement to provide the city's portion of $223,330 for the project. It's the project for the covered bridge project. Total cost will be $905,000. City is also counting on $275,000 from the state earmark. That does not happen. The city will be liable for a total of $500,000. But you got discussion.
That is exactly the situation.
Yeah, so that's kind of your problem. I'd like to make a motion to terminate the moratorium on small scale solar facilities previously extended to 6/29/24 and terminate that on 6/7/2024 when it changes to Article 24, 38, German Township zone resolution take effect.
Second.
Any discussion of the motion?
Now, before I call for a vote,
We put that moratorium in using a resolution.
you think,
The motion,
I'd do a resolution then.
thinking of resolution also. So let's make that resolution number 37.
But I'd like to introduce resolution 2024-37, resolution to terminate the moratorium on small scale solar facilities previously extended to 6/29/24. And terminate that on 6/7/2024 with changes to Article 24 and Article 38, Township zone resolution taken.
Second.
Okay, and I'm gonna note that there was a motion made and then withdrawn. Any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Dr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs?
Yes.
Mr. Potter?
Yes.
Resolution 2024-37 is adopted.
That's all I have. So as far as the propane,
Gotta wait on that. You want to do the bids?
Yeah.
Or what, business, whole business?
Chip seal.
Township, so.
Yeah. Okay. I got a chance to review the documentation as far as the insurance and all the other workman's comp and all the documents that were supposed to be in the bid with packet for Ray Hensley Incorporated. It all seems to be there. To answer Mr. Potter's question, in 2022, we used MC 3000. That's the type of liquid that is applied before they put chips down. It's asphalt. 2022, that was $2.39. This year, it is $2.72, which is like approximately a 12% increase from 2022 to 2024. In 2023, we used HFRS 2P, which is a water-based emulsion. Used that in 2023 at $2.28. And this year, we're going to do a little bit of both, I believe, is the plan. This year, it is $2.36 a square yard. That is approximately a 3% increase from last year. So, as we know, that sounds like ballpark. I mean, everything's going up. Like I said, they've always done us a good job, stand behind their work in the past. So it'd be my recommendation to award the 2024 chip seal program to Ray Hensley Incorporated, 3790 Crayville Road out of Springfield, Ohio, at a cost of $2.36 a square yard for HFRS 2P and $2.72 a square yard for MC 3000. That total project is going to be right around $100,000. The budget figure for the road department for contracted road work was $104,330 for this year. So.
Right on. Could you give me a copy of the bid? Those specs, the numbers, I can take them right off of the bid then.
I can do that.
Thank you, sir. So can we have a resolution number 38 to approve the bid?
Want me to do it? I'll introduce resolution 2024-38, a resolution to accept the bid from Ray Hensley Incorporated for
HFRS 2P.
single seal at $2.36 per square yard and MC 3000 single seal at $2.72 per square yard.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the resolution?
Not to exceed $100,000. Sorry, didn't add that in.
$100,709.60
Oh.
was the total.
$100,709.60.
Say the number again, one more time.
$100,709.
Seven.
Point.
709.
100,709.60.
Not to exceed that number. We have a first and second discussion. Call the roll, Dr. Cross,
Yes.
Mr. Stubbs.
Yes.
Mr. Potter.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-38 is adopted.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Any more new business?
They can find $500,000 for a bridge you can't drive on, but the I'll just stop on that.
I was so proud of you for like 5 minutes.
And
So if no other business, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:39.